got about $3 million to redo their downtown and so forth. It's part of this project that we bumped out.
They came and talked to us, but that's been probably 6 years ago, about,
Yeah, it's been a while.
about designating Highway 150 as a Lincoln Heritage Highway. It was through court.
You've been here 7 years, so.
Yeah, a little while after I came on court is when they first talked about it.
But still want us to maintain these signs in our county. You know, the other counties have agreed that we're the last county to hold that. Judge Settles asked me to talk to you fellows about doing it. Washington County is going to do it as well.
One little question. It says on this sign as part of its specific, says to be located outside the Kentucky Department of Highway right away. So what does that mean? We need to buy a...
No, they're taking care of all that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're taking care of all that. They're doing all that.
These tall signs, they're the ones that's going to be placed through Nelson County?
To the county. But you're also going to have one of these. Too.
Yeah.
You know, real nice rock, cut stone rock.
We have some stone.
What's it called? Like a drone?
We get $795 for them. That's a little inside tip. Motion to approve the maintenance plan by Bernard Ice. Is there a second? Second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. It's more tied to your district than Rue County coming through. You're hesitating.
No, I'm like Sam. I'd like to use our own Nelson County stone on it if it's possible.
Maybe you should go to money back in the sales.
That stone's not old enough to be really count for
It was built when the world
But
was
the
built.
thought, ask them to let's look at it if they can use it. I'd like to use it.
Okie dokie. I will do that. I don't know who the contractor is.
Okie dokie.
No, actually, the state will do the letting and so forth.
Yeah, they may have rock somewhere else, but they may want to use it too.
Actually, out here by the state park, where they put that rock ledge up across from Oklahoma State Park, there's probably some holes they could fill in with some of our stone.
I have another plan for those stones.
Next on the agenda is and I put this on the agenda for discussion purposes only at this point. Nelson County back in 1966, then again revisited in 1986 or 7, has what's called a joint ordinance and resolution with the city of Bardstown on the Human Rights Commission, and they developed the commission. The commission's been in place all those years. Fiscal Court financially supports the commission over the years, and the new commission that we've assembled actually has an attorney on the commission, Paula Pace, and they decided it's probably time for update, in particular on some language and some verbiage that need to be done. In particular, they were talking about the workplace discrimination and fair housing dealing with sexual orientation. And also, if you'll notice in there, there's a lot of language cleaning up, talking about commission, and everything's language, or I call it grammar. I told this girl that redid this, I wouldn't want her as my grammar teacher in school.
Way too much language.
But she clarified and changed the language. Here's your current. This is your current right here. With the changes highlighted. You already have this in place. I just want to make sure everybody understands this.
And this has been in place since 1986?
86.
And the fiscal court has funded it since then?
Yeah.
How much did they fund it?
About $1,500 a year. And at $1,500? Yeah.
But they're talking about hiring more, or putting more people on the board?
No.
It's a 10 board member now?
10 board member now.
Just what's highlighted or struck through is what's changed.
Yeah, that's why I tried to explain to Sam. Sam, I gave you a copy of the old.
Yeah, my question is why 40 and over? You know, if you're going to discriminate against someone, let it start at 0. You know what I'm saying? I don't get to 40 and over.
That's something I could not answer.
Huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
This is far from this when you had a change.
Yeah, this is way down.
I explained what I saw was the expansion. That was in the sexual
When you're
orientation.
looking at things like familial status, genetic information, these are all And then,
Gender
and
is-
then you have,
It's
you know,
scary.
sexual
Yeah, it's very
orientation,
scary.
real or perceived, and gender
Anybody can
identity,
say
real or
anything.
perceived. That's,
I understand.
Well, this has worked for
It's
40
highlighted,
years,
well
hasn't
highlighted.
it? And hadn't it worked for 40 years?
what problem are we trying to solve?
It's, there's a big push, I'm just telling you, in the world on the,
Well, this ordinance is for Nelson County.
I understand.
What problem in Nelson County are we trying to solve?
there's sexual discrimination based on gay lesbian
Okay, so-
movement. I can tell you, just
How
go.
many cases have we had, complaints formally to this human rights commission?
On that particular issue, I can't tell you.
Well, I think if something was worked for 40 years, that's a pretty good work for me.
I'll pass that along to the commission. And you want to respond? Okay, property valuation assessment moratorium, I want to pass on that, I'm not ready on that yet. I didn't get that all clarified. Matthew, you get a chance to get that updated, or I started striking through, and I'll get you a copy of it maybe Friday.
Can I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
I guess, and I've kind of talked with different ones about this, I guess what constitutes rehab? You know, you can't go out and change the window out and expect to get a 5-year moratorium for changing the window, you know?
Uh-huh.
So, and maybe it's going to be left up to
PVA, it's
Barbara to have to
You know,
decide that.
if somebody paints their house, you don't go out and reassess it.
No.
If someone completely remodels a house,
That would be considered as.
it's an interpretation of the PVA, I would think.
Are we talking
Permits
about,
usually trigger it, yeah, I was gonna say, significant reconstruction or rehab.
That was my question, and that's what's not designated.
Is there, for the city's ordinance, is there a permit or an application that you still have to apply before you do all?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give you a copy of the cities was in your original mailer I sent
I
out.
don't think it was in the original, was it?
And I believe the state Department of Revenue dictates what that application has to say.
Right.
It's pretty simple.
Well, Barb, do you see any extra work or any extra, I mean, who's going to police it? Who's going to go look at it in 2 years or 5 years? Are you going to have a separate column over here that I got 29 of them and I need to go check on?
How do you handle the cities now?
The approval process will be handled by fiscal court, so you will have to have someone in place to approve the applications. Once the application is approved, I think you have 2 years that someone has to go out and make sure there is significant progress being made or that it's finished. On my end of it, there will be some paperwork that we have to make corrections to the bills each year. In the city right now, we have about 20 that qualify. You know, it's some paperwork, and it will be paperwork to the sheriff's office to correct the tax bill. It will only affect the county portion of the tax bill, is my understanding.
Yes.
And I've spoken with the Department of Revenue about the length, you know, the 5 years. I think that's, by law, has to be 5 years. And I think by law, it has to be transferable to the new owners. So, you know, that's,
Here's how I
that's a
handle it.
legal question.
A copy of this, we would come up with a copy like the city does. We would have the folks fill it out in my office, take pictures, then I would present to the fiscal court at a public meeting, just like the city does. They bring everyone to the city council, and you guys would approve or disapprove. And I think it's pretty.
On that application,
right.
it says what the assessment is currently.
Uh-huh.
So if they plan to put $50,000, $70,000, $100,000, you will know the savings. If they actually, you know, add that much to it, then you will know, they will know what the amount of that savings would be. Multiply times the tax rate, that would be their amount of savings from the original assessment.
You know, and I'd see where I think the Maple Hill group's going to be on Brooks and Company show today. You know, big pushes to help clean up the Maple Hill area. There's a group of organized citizens to give them credit where credit is due. This would help them, you know, somewhere along the line as well. Not only in the city, that we get the county portion as well. We already have, I explained to the young lady that we have a court approved about 12 years ago or longer, dilapidated house program. If there's some old outbuildings need to be tore down, we have a grant program that we pay 80%, the constituent pays 20%. All those things add up when you're remodeling a house.
We did that one on the old Boston Road, the old Pier Joint.
Yep, sure did.
We finally got that one out on.
And we've done several in the city limits. Well, New Haven, we've done. New Haven, we're doing one downtown. New Haven right now. It's a good deal. So you put it all together, it's kind of a nice little incentive package. But hope to get that cleaned up copy back to you.
Plus, in 5 years, you get that t-shirt they offer.
Yeah, if it sits like this for another 5 years, you get nothing.
Yeah. I'm part.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
And it cleans up the neighborhood. Thank you. We'll get you a good clean copy back and hopefully get that in our next court. EMS report, Joe?
A couple of weeks ago, I met with the EMS committee for the rest of the court, and we talked about the possibility of remounting an existing truck or repowering that truck, and I asked them to allow me to get some numbers together. Did some research on that. Well, this is a 2000 model Ford F-450 that we had pulled off when we replaced it with a remount here about 6 months ago. To remount that truck, we're providing the box, and an outside company is putting a Chevrolet chassis under it and repainting it somewhere between $85,000 and $95,000. To retire that same truck, which our box is in good condition, do some minor refurbishing, it looks like those numbers would come in around $35,000. So what I would like to do is get permission to write a spec and advertise to retire that truck. That would free up some funds that we have in that budget line item to possibly replace a couple more cots with the power cots. We only have 4. What I'm finding now, the crews are kind of pulling my eyes over the wool and using the same trucks every day because the power cots are in those trucks and they're specific to the truck. So we need to get a few more power cots so we can make sure they're using all the trucks. So that would be what I'd like to recommend, is to advertise, write a spec and advertise to repower that truck.
Question. Is there a company out there that does this repairing?
Any of your Ford dealerships can do it. Lowell has done, Bill Collins Ford has done a couple. Litchfield Ford has done a couple. So yeah, you want a QVM qualified service department to do it.
I make a motion, President.
Okay. Motion been made by Jerry on to repower the truck as presented, advertised for repower. Second by Keith Metcalf. Further discussion? All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion carried.
That's
Thank you, Joe.
I would like to say thank you, Joe, for getting reappointed to your new position.
Well, appreciate that, and
Your hard work, dedication.
without the fiscal court, Judge Watts giving me the ability to participate with some of that, I would not be able to do it.